continuing on, uh, continuing on with episode 5. I gotta look at this. It's a great day or not. Okay, picking up where the next scene is, where Nando gets up. Now this scene here, it was written as we filmed it. Now the trick with this was trying to get everything coordinated when the people start coming in the door. The only one who wasn't there was Magna, because she apparently had left to go to get her hair done or something. But obviously you got Jonathan and Octavio coming in from the park. I mean, it looked like they had gotten dressed and they left the park together. And you got Danny coming out of the room, and then you got Agnes coming in also through the front door, and then Yanel coming in from the back. But the trick was trying to get, because we only had so much food there and coffee made ready for this scene. The trick was we had to get everything coordinated where somebody was gonna do this. They were gonna start grabbing the donuts from Fernando's plate or a little biscuit, taking the paper away. Everything had to be, so we talked about who's going to do what. The trick was for these guys not to get into each other's way while they're doing their thing, and it was all chaotic. It really was. When we first started shooting, we didn't shoot it at first. We said let's practice it. We had to practice it. We would walk through it, and then I would tell, hey, okay, you need to do this. Certain characters grab the paper, take it away from them. The other one was gonna grab the biscuit, take a bite of it. Now Jonathan's pretty obvious. Like he grabbed, I think, it's a donut. He takes a bite out of it, doesn't like it. He spits it back out. I think he spits it back out because he didn't like it. Yeah, he takes a bite out of it and he spits it back out, trying to clean himself. Now the whole thing was to make Hernando feel like he's alone in the house. He's got some quiet time to himself. Now, one thing that Fabian did that caught my eye is, and if you don't see it, everything's happening at once. If you don't see it, it's Fabian. He somehow gets his hands stained with jelly of the donut or something, but he's thanking Hernando, and he wipes the shit on his hands. So you'll see it toward the end when everybody's leaving. You'll see Hernando looking at the shit. He's got the stuff on his hand that Danny had left on him. Now, toward the end there, this was part of the. It wasn't part of the script, but I told Octavio, look, I think he was the one walking out with the people. Look, when you walk out, I want you to crumple that paper outside, and then open up the door as everybody's leaving. You open that door back up, and you throw it in like you're making a hoop for a basket, and try to hit him in the head. It's got to be quick. It's gonna be a one take because once we shoot this is all the food we got for this scene. And he actually did well. Let me see and he throws it in there, and it actually happens really fast. You can see it going in there, but I think it hit in the back behind his head. Next scene, we got Jonathan and Yanel. Now they were going by the script, but this was supposed to be done outside. When I think she was next to her car or something. Didn't want to shoot it outside. I told her, let's do it inside. We're gonna have to make a twist with this. So I told Yanel, okay, what we want to do is, because he was supposed to be daydreaming this. Really, outside he was supposed to be daydreaming this. But since we're going to be doing inside, the trick for me was to try to, get everything in the sequence of a nice flow, I guess. Because in this part, I'm not really sure how Hollywood would do it, but I had 3 cameras set up. So when Jonathan was acting up and he turned around, and then he turns right back to see Yanel. Well, Yanel's got her ass teasing him. you know. Now, to him, it might have been like, is this happening, you know? But in her and Yanel's character, she was at that point kind of flirting around with him, you know, in that sense where she never done that before, being sarcastic. That's what she was doing, but at the same time, she was flirting. For me, the challenge is how can I get this where, you know, I don't have to stop the actors, because I know if I stop the actors and then try to get it cut in at the perfect time, it's going to be really difficult for me to try to make it flow in post. So I told him, let's try this in real time and see how it comes out. Toward the end there, I had told Jonathan, you know what, at the very end, I want you, when you close the door, and this wasn't in the script either, so close the door, and I want to hear the door always creak when you walk in. I want you to open up the door and let's take you know, peek in there again to see, you know, to get one last look at Yanel. So that's where that scene ended on that one. Next thing we got Wanda in the tub. She's talking to a client. Yeah. She's an escort, obviously. By this time, you should have figured out. She's an escort. Not sure. By now you might see that she works also as a stripper. But that's how she makes ends do. She makes her own money by doing this, and her parents think that she's going to college. So she's talking to a client in the tub. Now these scenes where Yanel comes out, I try to keep it, you know, kind of sexy and not so much a lot of. The shower scene was a lot of skin, and I agree. You know, I want to agree to that now. This tub here, I think me and Fabienne wound up. We went out buying the bubble. I told her we need to have her in a bubble bath, and she actually had set the water in there, but I think she put the whole damn bottle in there, so it had to be like in this take because we didn't have more bubbles. She used the whole damn thing in there. And who's she talking to? She's talking to Fabienne because she was struggling with her lines. So I told Fabienne, look, I need you to go outside, call her on her cell phone, and I'm going to talk to you. I said, listen, Fabienne's going to talk to you. That way you can stay in character. So Fabienne's going to talk to you as your client, and you just kind of go with it. It's going to be more of an improv. That way you're not too worried about the lines, okay? It'll flow nice and easy because, you know, when you're talking to somebody, and I told her to stay in character, she got to that scene. I don't think we spent more than maybe a couple of times on the phone, had a call on them. Last but not least was the serenade, the poetic Jonathan. Da, 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 da. Now, this scene where Hernando is mimicking Jonathan, it wasn't scripted. He was just supposed to be standing there and just kind of like, listening to a young kid do poems to his wife. That's pretty much. I think this is kind of boring. Hernando was, but you know, for me at that time, he was established as being funny. So I told him, no, you know what? This is what we're going to do. As Jonathan begins to again serenade a poem, I want you to mimic what he's doing, and that'll be even funny because Jonathan's not going to be concentrating on what you're doing. He's going to be concentrating on the mic. And that actually came out really funny because he did a damn good job toward when he was doing that. Now the way this was supposed to end, which I had a little bit of issue with, is when Jackie tells him, "Look, you don't need to go through all this to seduce me." And then Jonathan says, "Okay," and it ends right there. I told him, "Man, look, I have a problem with that because it isn't funny." You know, he's going through like, and then Jackie says, "You don't have to go through all this to seduce me." And then he says, "Okay, so well, I had to do a little bit of creative thinking on this part, thinking Well, let me try this where she says that, and his mind drifts into a daydream where she's teasing him, how he sees her in a sexy dance and teasing him. And then I'm thinking during that time, toward the end of that scene, the daydream part, Jack is calling him back because he's in a daze. Jack is calling him back, and then that's when he says, oh, "Okay." So I kind of figured, you know what? That's a little bit better for me to end that. That's the end of the episode right there. Let's see here. Yeah, that was the end of the episode. But I kind of figured I need something a little bit more creative than just saying, he's saying, okay. So I'm trying to get Jackie in there, dancing sexy. Jackie might not know where I got that footage. Jackie, you better close the drapes in your house. You never know who's out there with a camera filming you, but you're alone. Anyways, have a good one. Be safe. And we'll see you on, what episode was this one? Let's see. I think 5? Episode 6. We'll see you in episode 6. Be safe.